Hello, my name is Kira, and today I'm going to be sharing my reflection from week 5 and 7 of our class. These 2 weeks were connected in a powerful way. They both focused on how our brains work, especially when it comes to memory, language, and development. I thought it was very interesting just how they both just mixed together perfectly. In week 5, we explored how memory is stored and processed. There are 3 ways that the memory is stored. There's the sensory memory, which is like the sensory memory, and then there's the short-term memory and long-term memory. The sensory memory involves our senses: sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touching. Um, and and that's how we take in the information. If our brain decides the information is important, it moves it to the short-term memory. If we continue to use it or rehearse it or keep it going in our heads, then it becomes a long-term memory. These long-term memories are what shapes who we are and help us make decisions and allow us to build knowledge throughout life. We also learned that as we age, it becomes harder to retain new information. I related this to my own experience in the discussion when I was younger. Learning a second language came a little easier to me, and I wasn't very good at learning languages, or I just feel like anything I learned, I was a lot easier to retain. And then when I was when I'm in my 20s, I learned Mandarin Chinese, and it was really hard for me. I felt like when I was younger, like, I don't know, like in 7th grade, I kept trying to learn Mandarin, but my twin sister didn't want to learn it. But everything I would learn, I would retain it really fast. But then when I had to learn it, when I went to Taiwan, it was really hard. But for me, but realizing that how powerful our brains are during childhood and how they change while we're growing up is kind of crazy to me. And then in week 7, I reflected on language development and education, especially in early childhood. That's what it talks about. And I'm the youngest in my family and didn't grow up around many babies, so it's been amazing to watch my niece grow up and learn by hearing things repeated. She learns through repetition, and it really works. I feel like pretty much every baby does this. But it's been interesting to see how fast children learn languages and how they catch on to things very easy. She learns through repetition, and this kind of ties into what my mom, who's a kindergarten teacher, says. Kids learn best when they are repeated, when things are repeated and fun. So she uses songs and dances every day, and her students always seem to learn more than others. That's because repetition helps build strong memories in the brain. She had this teacher come to her and was like, "Why do you?" Because she got asked why they remember so much, and she thought it would be boring for the kids to always be singing the same song every single day, but the kids thought it was really fun because they knew the song and they actually knew the things in the song, so they could dance to it, and it made them happier. It also talked about how education is critical for a meaningful life. I still believe that education shapes not only careers but our senses of purpose. For example, I wouldn't want a doctor who treated me who only had a few months of experience. Education helps build trust and knowledge within people. And I put that in my discussion post in week 7 because I think that education is just as important as anything else in our lives, and to have that better knowledge is easier. It makes things easier for you, and it makes things easier for others to trust and understand you. But in the end, both weeks showed me how essential memory is to learning and growing and becoming a better person. It helps us grow personally and professionally, and it allows us to help others do the same. And I just think that these weeks were both very important to learn about, and that the fact that our memory is so important for us to learn and grow and to become better. And yeah, and so that's what I learned from those two things.